name is Jessica Foy. I come from Vancouver Island, Nanaimo, and my heritage background is Tsuut'ina and Métis. Finding this program was a little bit of a light bulb moment, and it just felt right. So learning about all these arts, I think, is a good way to help preserve the Native culture. The theme of the project is knowledge, basically, and different ways to different knowledge sources and different ways to share that knowledge. So, in traditional ways, you learned from your elders, and you learned from nature, and these things were all very connected. And these days, it's more about books and learning from teachers and writing and studying, which is good. So it's kind of like a conversation about how to bring those together, merge them together for the future.
Jamie John Kihiwan Siga Sun Kihiwan Ochihnia. The project relates to our sense of disconnectedness between ourselves as First Nations peoples and with our culture and our language. We're not as fluent in our language as we should be, that we want to be. Our cultural ways and practices they're not lost, moreover, some people forget to practice them. What the project represents is how we as young people want to utilize modern technology to get reconnected back to our culture. So it's a sense of disconnected and being reconnected to want to be connected.
So there are a lot of different themes and things to talk about with this project. I'm only talking about maybe one or two, but to do with the different ways of knowledge, different ways of learning and sharing knowledge. To do with the program we're doing currently at Portage. They're quite similar because we are going out into nature and we're gathering things and we're learning traditional art forms and the traditional ways of doing them. So we're also learning contemporary art forms and contemporary fundamentals of art. So they're right there, we're merging them together as well. So the iPhone is symbolizing like the technology and ways of learning. People are always, you can learn so much from your iPhone because you have the internet at your fingertips. So that's just about merging, the traditional ways. She's got her braid going into the phone. That's sort of like, her knowledge and ancestral knowledge sort of merging in with modern technology and how those can complement each other. The loss of language and the revival of language is very important because that's one of the #1 things that was taken away in residential schools. So that sort of was how they separated families or separated generations because the children weren't learning the language anymore, so they weren't able to efficiently learn from their grandparents and their parents anymore because they were being separated by a large language barrier.
So within our language, the Cree language, Nehiyawe we call it, we have what is called, like any language, they have your alphabets. For the Nehiyawe language, it's the Cree syllabics. And what it is 4 guttural sounds. And what Nehiyawe means is it's a language of 4s because we are a people of 4s. But the 4 main sounds are A, E, I, O. And there's other versions of the Cree syllabics as well, but that's the ones that the Plains Cree uses. And there's a song that goes with that too, and it's a lullaby. It's what the mothers sing to their children when they're small, when they're in the womb, and when they're born, when they're small. I mean, it probably reminds them of that connectedness of being with their mother. But what it is it helps the babies to recognize the language as it's spoken to them.
The importance of this project is to help spread the knowledge of traditional ways and the importance of keeping them alive in these more modern times, because it's a large part of our history as Canadians and as Canada as a whole, and I think it'll be a good way to help with reconciliation and everything, just to bring these different art forms and different ways of learning together.
I'm hoping that it would inspire young people, youth, not only youth, but everybody in general to pick up their languages and learn them and then pass them on to their children, as it was done years ago. I mean, it was common knowledge, so why can't we make it common knowledge again?